John.
Hi, John Merrill, and I happen to live in Somerset, but I hope I speak for everyone along the 18 miles of proposed monster towers. And you guys were, a lot of these speakers were truly eloquent, and they all stole my thunder because I wanted to make the same points that, you know, there are alternatives, and PSE took them off the table, and the city needs to put them back on the table and have them independently studied. And I also want to make the point that we have time to do this. And, you know, I got to hand it to PSE. This is a masterful piece of PR. I think everybody's pretty familiar with this graph. Basically, if you believe this graph, it basically says that less than 3 years from now, about 2.5 years from now, the lights are going to start going out unless you let us trash your neighborhoods. That's basically what it says. That's the message that, and I got to hand it to, you know, the PR people at PSE. It's a very simple and powerful message. It just happens to be false. And I think it's just really disingenuous that, you know, PSE has been studying the needs of the East Side for decades, literally decades, and they had a number of solutions to the problem other than the one that they prefer now that they've taken off the table. They've had those solutions on their books for at least 10 years that I know of, looking at the paper trail. And yet they come to us 2.5 years before they say the lights are going to start going out and say, if you don't let us build what we want to build, the lights are going to start going out and you have no choice. That's basically the message that they're conveying in this graph. And that is a false premise. We have time to study this right. We owe it to our children and to our grandchildren, because the decision we make as a community now, you know, is going to be passed on for decades, and we're going to have to live with that. With all the new technologies and the fact that the East Side is a very innovative, progressive community that values the livability of our neighborhoods, the sustainable, you know, we want to move to a more sustainable economy. We owe it to our children, our grandchildren, and ourselves to study the alternatives and figure out which one is the best. Thank you very much.